so excited to be here. Before we get started today, I have a quick question for you guys. Raise your hand if you are very passionate about something and you want to learn how to profit off of it. Make some money. Yeah? Okay, keep your hands up, and we are going to take an exciting selfie with this awesome Instagram camera. Okay. Do you guys want to come get my
sure.
selfie?
Yeah.
And I just got...
You just positioned yourself?
Forget I'm already myself. I just positioned.
How do we...
This is going to be hard.
Okay, so arms up, everyone smile, be excited for this panel today. I don't know if I took it. Okay.
Did it go up?
I don't know. Uh-oh. Maybe. Okay, so everyone get your pens and papers ready and get it ready to take some notes. We're going to learn all about the tactical tools that you can use to turn your passion into a profitable business. So thank you, ladies, so much for being here. We're so excited to get all the business tidbits from you guys. Give them a round of applause.
Clap for you.
So just to get started, I'd love for you all to tell us a little bit about your passion, how your passion for health or beauty transitioned into a business, into a product, into a brick and mortar business for you, Cyndi. So Lo, let's go ahead and start with you.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Lo. I'm the founder and CEO of Love Wellness. So at Love Wellness, we really feel like we are your partner when you navigate the journey to love yourself well. So we're a total body care company that supports women to figure out how they achieve their best personal health. So we have products that range from gut health to infection relief to intimacy. And I really got interested in this space because of personal reasons, which is why most people start businesses, right? You have some kind of problem and you don't feel like there is a solution out there that fits your need. And so a couple years ago, I was sick. I had really bad vitamin deficiencies. I was depressed. I was anxious. And I was at the OBGYN all the time. And that put me at the drugstore all the time and in the women's personal care aisle. And it made me feel really bad about myself. All of those products were so old school. They had been created or invented, we can even say, primarily by men. And I felt like the tone of these types of products, if you really thought about it, it was pretty anti-feminist, in the messaging and the advertising. And so I wanted to create a new female-first company that could come into this space and really represent how women want to feel about their bodies. And we believe at Love Wellness that women are their own best health advocates. And so you should be the ones that are making decisions for yourself. You should feel good about using these types of products. You should feel good about wanting to take care of yourself. And so that's how I got into the space and started that business.
Awesome. Cyndi?
Yes, so I am the founder of a business called Chillhouse. We are a destination for modern self-care. We have one location currently in the Lower East Side, and we're actually opening up our second location this fall. I haven't announced where yet, but I'll tell you guys. It's in the Soho West area, so not prime Soho. We can't afford prime Soho rent, but just a little west of there. And what we do there is pretty much, we have a medley of services. We do nails, we have massages, we do facials. We just launched facials, so please come check out our amazing facial program. And yeah, we just want to be a place that you can go and practice self-care regularly, not feel like it's a big splurge, but really, a place that you can go feel at ease and at home and hopefully enjoy with a few different services.
Cool. So I feel like self-care is a common thread here. Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Lee. I'm the co-founder of Glow Recipe, which is a skincare brand that focuses on natural fruit ingredients paired with active ingredients and inspired by Korean skincare. I've always been a beauty and skincare fanatic. I grew up with my mom giving me all these skincare tips growing up since my teen years. But prior to becoming an entrepreneur, I was a corporate girl. I worked at L'Oreal for 10 years in both Korea and New York. And I saw this huge opportunity of Korean skincare exploding in the industry. As a product developer and global marketer, I knew that that was going to be the next big thing. So with my best friend and co-founder, Christine, we decided to jump to this new venture and become entrepreneurs. So we started curating Korean skincare innovations directly from our friends and resources out of Korea. And then 2 years ago, we decided to create our own innovations. So some of you might have seen the Watermelon Glow Sleeping Mask, and we have a little activation out there. And we partnered with Sephora and some other retailers around the globe. And today we have our stores, brick and mortar stores across all of the Sephora stores nationwide, as well as Canada. And we have 7 SKUs, but we're growing, and we're really, really passionate about self-care, like these 2 ladies here. We want to make sure that with our innovations, we also provide education and really giving you that self-care pampering moment. We coined the term skintertainment. So we want everyone to have a lot of fun while taking care of your skin.
That's amazing. So you guys have come up with these really incredible, innovative, and unique approaches to introduce new products and services into the wellness space. And we all have these crazy ideas that come to us, and we know that I am that person to start this business. So how did you go from idea to an actual product or an actual service? Like, talk to us about what was the first step. You know, did you hop on Google and research, how do I start a business? Did you call a mentor? What was that first step that you took?
I can start, I guess. So I guess I didn't talk a little bit about how I opened or where the idea of Chillhouse came from, but really happened. My husband and I were trying to get massages one day and kind of quickly realized we didn't love our options. Our options in New York City, as many of you may know, prior to Chillhouse, is either like a kind of seedy establishment, you don't know what you're getting when you walk through the door, or a kind of high-end establishment. There was nothing really in the middle that spoke to us, and so for us it was really an aha moment that there was nothing really in the market as far as the spa environment goes that spoke to my generation, my taste level, my affinity for design and X, Y, and Z. So we kind of started the process, I guess, just like researching what was out there, researching what was missing, what kind of mix of services were missing. We realized quickly, obviously, massages needed to be a more reasonable price point, but then we also realized that there was no place in New York that women can go get a manicure but also get a matcha, like at the same time. Like, you know, sometimes you go to a fancy nail salon and they give you a tea, or if they're really nice, they'll give you like a mimosa or something like that, but there wasn't anywhere that you can get like a really great wellness beverage or anything like of that nature.
Now you're making all those places level up.
Yeah, I got competition now. No, I think we like to exist in our own world a little bit. But so I think, the next step was really like observing the industry, knowing what was out there, all the different businesses that exist, knowing the price points and, how we were going to enter, how we were going to be different, unique. And then started looking at real estate. And then from there, I think knowing what the industry or what the real estate market was looking like at the time, then we kind of started working on our plan and going from there. But my mom is actually an esthetician too. So I had an idea of what that world would be like just from watching her as I was growing up. So I was kind of destined to end up in this, like almost like modernizing your mom's, business in a way. Just kind of happened out of nowhere. Like it just hit us. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, I'll go. Is that okay, Sarah? Yeah. So what's interesting about consumer products is that we live in a really great time that has democratized the way that you can start a business, right? You can go online and you can create a Shopify store. You could literally, in the next 30 seconds, go onto Shopify and create an account, and boom, you have a store. You might not have anything to put on it yet, but you effectively are in business. And so when I started Love Wellness in 2016, I was a one-woman show, and I was a one-woman show for almost 2 years. I did everything on my own. Now I have a wonderful team, but out of the gate, it was just me. I'm particularly passionate about product development. And that's where my focus has been from the very beginning, and thankfully where I get to return to, because now I have a great team that's sort of filling in all of the holes so that the business actually operates. And when it comes to products, it's actually not that hard to get something, like an actual thing, made, whatever it is. You just have to be brave enough to call 25 manufacturers and figure out who the right person is that can work with you within your budget, that will make sure that your first run of whatever it is not more than 1,000 units, because who knows if your business is going to work, right? So you need the product, right? You need the manufacturer, and you need your Shopify store, and then you have to start thinking about marketing, right? And when you think about your product, it's really important to think about, okay, who is my target demographic? Who am I selling this to? And am I communicating to that person, man, woman, Gen Z, baby boomer, whoever it is, am I communicating to this person in the right way? Because it's pretty important that you do that, right? You probably get served ads all the time on Instagram or on Facebook because they have put you into their algorithm of like, okay, this person is definitely gonna want this company's whatever, but then you also get those ads that are really weird and you're like, this isn't for me, and that's clearly a company that needs to reassess their performance marketing strategy and how they're specifically speaking to consumers, right? So you need your product, you need your marketing strategy, you need to find your voice, and then you have to start building your email list. So our favorite tool that we use right now, before you graduate to like a huge service provider like Salesforce, is a group called Klaviyo. Klaviyo and Shopify work really well together. Klaviyo provides you with incredible data, way more than MailChimp. MailChimp is like hard to use, I think, in my opinion. So those are some of like the foundational pieces that I used to get started.
It's really great advice, Sarah. Sarah, before you tell us about your first steps, I want to incorporate into your response. You actually started in a corporate culture, working for L'Oreal with your co-founder, correct? Before you started Glow Recipe. So while you tell us about your first steps in starting Glow Recipe, why don't you tell us about some of those useful business skills that you were able to take from your corporate job and carry into your startup culture?
Yeah, so I think L'Oreal for me was a marketing school. I think it was amazing to be a product developer at a corporate where you have limitless resources. You're really able to have access to all the research. We did a ton of focus groups and also just consumer surveys. And throughout that experience, you really learn what the consumer behavior is for certain types of products, textures. You get that access to test different formulas in different ethnicities, skin types, hair types. So I think that's been amazing because throughout those years, I think I was able to kind of build that gut in terms of what works on who and what type of people. But I think the biggest lesson that I learned is that there isn't one thing that fits for all. And that was a really big learning because my last role was a hub for product development for the US market, for hair care and styling actually for L'Oreal Paris. And our role was to actually create new products that was dedicated for the American market and not take the products directly from France, because the US market is so different from Europe, obviously. And you think that it makes sense, but sometimes you have one product that's centralized and distributed everywhere. So with that, that entailed having done a new set of research, new set of interviews, talking to different people here, and really understanding the emotional elements that could move them. So that sort of exercise really was helpful for me to apply for Glow Recipe, because what we were able to do before we started our product development was talk to our community, but also talk to the beauty advisors in Sephora, talk to people that are just walking over and asking them why they like certain products and why they're picking up certain products. And there was a lot of insight. So one thing that really was eye-opening for us was, K-beauty is still a very big trend, but when Sephora had this huge nationwide animation that was all about Korean skincare and the front and center of their stores, we were really excited, but we really wanted to understand if the beauty advisors in these stores understood this as well. So we talked to some of these women and they said, you know what, K-beauty is all about 15, 20 steps. I don't have time for this. I'm overwhelmed, to be honest with you, and I'm not gonna invest hundreds of dollars to buy 20 products. And if I'm not gonna do that, I'm not gonna advise my clients to do the same. And that was a huge sort of point where we thought, oh my God, these are different consumers than, let's say, Korea or different parts of the world. They love K-beauty because it's interesting, the textures are unique, and it's sensorial, it does the job, but they don't want to go through these complex steps. And that was something that from then on, Christine and myself, we decided to really break that barrier and help the American women still have access to these amazing innovations, but without having to use multiple steps. So that was our aha moment where we said, okay, let's create our own products, but condense the routines for everybody, but make multitasking products, so hybrid products that can do multiple benefits, but instead of having to spend 30 minutes in your bathroom, you just need 5 minutes, and that's all you need. You still get the same results. So that was one of the insights that we really honed in on. So that was a huge learning. And then we wanted to make sure that in the market, and this is something we learned in the corporate world as well, you always have to find your own niche, and you always have to make sure your point of difference could resonate with your audience. So we decided, as busy entrepreneurs, that what was really necessary for our lives was a product that could give us the glowing result overnight and just giving us look great after waking up. And we thought, oh my God, everybody would want this because now we're lazy or busy or we don't have time to do anything. Everybody wants to look better without having to put too much effort. So we came to this conclusion of wanting to get this facial effect in a jar. And that was the first reason why the Watermelon Glow Sleeping Mask was born, because we were inspired by condensing the routine, but still having all these benefits without compromising. And then one last bit was, what was our point of difference? We wanted to add watermelon, which is very, very new at the time for skincare. Now we see this everywhere. Everything is watermelon infused. But 2 years ago, no one had that in skincare. And we thought, oh my God, it's a fruit that we all love to eat. And it's so great for hydration, soothing, it's anti-inflammatory, it's rich in minerals and vitamins. Why can't we have that on our face? And we grew up with our grandmothers rubbing watermelon rind on our heat rashes and skin irritations when it was so hot back in my Korea days. So we wanted to give all of that into this jar, create this facial effect, and there was a lot of thought that was put into this. And then throughout the years in L'Oreal, we learned to create this concept slide that looks beautiful with our mood board and inspiration images. And we were able to present that to Sephora, and that's how everything started.
That's so amazing. And I think a huge takeaway that we can grab from that whole story is that if you have a 9-to-5 that you're working through right now while you're balancing your side hustle, just think about what business tools that you can really take from there, whether it's some tactical skills, whether you're learning graphic design, business management, whatever, whether you're learning social skills, like really utilize that time while you're there to take with you as you launch that into your side career. So let's talk about something really big, which is money. So really quick, can you guys tell us a little bit about how you got the capital to launch your business? Lo, let's start with you.
Sure. So I self-funded my business out of the gate. We started with 5 products, and I put like every dollar I had into starting this business. It's expensive to start a business. My God, it's really expensive. So I worked with manufacturers to do like the minimum order quantities of a couple different products. And thankfully, like I said, it's not that expensive to like have a Shopify site and to get started. And thankfully, I previously had some experience in a different startup where we were trying to sell something that was really big and complicated and expensive. And the lesson that I took away from that was, Lauren, don't ever do that again. You need to sell something that is small, that ships for a low price, that has really great margins. Because when you start your business, if you don't have easy access to capital, whether it's investors or a line of credit or a bank loan or whatever it is, you better be profitable pretty fast, because you need working capital to keep growing your business, and you have to invest all that money back into your business. Recently, we just closed our Series A, so we skipped our seed round financing. I raised a Series A, so we raised $4 million from one group. It's a beauty supply company, so it's really a strategic investor instead of just a money investor. I met with tons of venture capital groups. We had multiple term sheets, which is extremely fortunate. Most people don't find themselves in a situation like that, but the demand for these products is high right now, and so it was challenging though, right? You walk into these rooms and it's still a particularly male-dominated culture, and they don't really understand what we're doing, and I think that they look at the women's wellness personal care category as just like, oh, like we can just do what's always been done. Let's just slap some new packaging on it and make it feel empowering, and that's gonna do the trick. And they're so dead wrong. And so I wanted to partner with this group in particular because they share our vision more than anything else. Yeah, they know that like our bodies are not commodities. We're not to be commoditized. We're humans with feelings and emotions, and we want to be well. And so my investor shares that view with us. But it was a really challenging process. My God, it takes months and months and months from when you get a term sheet to when you actually get the money in the bank. It's a lot. And I think you also have to consider, am I raising debt? Am I raising, or am I giving away equity? So you have to be really thoughtful. And there really is no like right or wrong answer. It's just where your comfort level lies and where you want to take the business long term.
Right.
That I think affects that decision.
Awesome. Thank you for that knowledge. Since we are short on time, I do want to get in a couple more questions. Cyndi, you had a huge blog and a huge following online before you launched into, Chillhouse. How were you able to use your online platform to help you grow into this business and bring people into your business?
I took a bit of a pivot during that time. So I had a site called Taste of Style. It was a lifestyle site centered around fashion and food, and it was, I think, really well received in New York, and people really loved it. But when I started, obviously, Chillhouse is kind of a different lifestyle category. It's wellness, it's self-care. It's not really like how to eat and drink your way through New York City, which is what Taste of Style was. So I kind of came through a crossroads moment with Taste of Style, and at the time I still had it when I launched Chillhouse, and we had so many amazing opportunities from really big brands, Fortune 500 companies that like wanted to work with Chillhouse, but then we're like, we also want content out of you guys, and we're like, we don't have that, but we have Taste of Style, but they weren't really synergistic businesses. So it became really clear to me that I kind of had to let my first baby go, my first real baby, I'd say, go. And then I pivoted that site into the Chill Times, which is our editorial platform that it's all about self-care. So it allows us to kind of talk about things outside of our four walls, anything from mental health to skin health to even eye care. And yeah, I mean, I love content. I think it's still very much needed and important these days as part of your marketing strategy. So for us, even when I had Taste of Style, we would still kind of like, throw Chillhouse into the mix, into our content. But again, it didn't really sit well with me knowing that the origin of that platform was very different than what we're selling or what I'm selling now as a business owner. So that shift really helped, and I think it still continues to be a big part of our DNA.
That's so awesome. Well, we could talk about all of these business strategies for so long. I do want to end with a lightning round. So tell us, starting with you, Sarah, what is one wellness strategy that you have for your own life that helps you build a healthy business mindset?
It's my skincare routine. So,
Of course.
but I've done this with my mom since I was like 12. I can't remember when it started, but we had all these DIY moments. We were making like watermelon juices into like spritz bottles and misting, and that was actually an inspiration for our recent mist launch that has watermelon. But even today, after a long, long, long day, I always look forward to just washing everything away. That's like my self-pampering moment. That's when I actually like think back and reflect on what happened throughout the day while I'm patting my way through my few steps of the routine. And I always make sure to take a bath as well whenever I have the time, because that actually is just like a time that's like a my own time where I can relax and really feel like I can just think through things without any distraction.
Totally.
So that's my secret, and I
Awesome.
do that pretty much every day.
Cindy Lowe, 2 words or so?
Keep it quick. Massages, I get them at least every couple weeks. And puppy time, husband puppy time, best friend time. One of them is sitting right there. I think all of that is really important, things that you kind of don't see on the gram,
Yeah.
those moments for yourself.
Totally.
Yeah. I sit in the steam room, helps clear my head. That's it.
Thank you, ladies, so much. I hope you guys learned a lot. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you.